boy drop down a dump. Every run them down, shoot shot in your gun. Anyway, chip then he chop them a cut. A tough chat them a pop. I don't know if we reverse them head. From your side where you are fucking dead. Help me the boy, itchy squeeze it, she got pump boy. Shot the post, blood run like river that boy. From me little bit run, he send me a part. And everybody know, say me no give a damn boy.
Welcome. So you're listening to the Jamaica Funk Show, and I'm KT, your host tonight. Boy, we got a great show for you tonight. Tonight, our guest host will be Miss Sarah LeDeau Schmasow. I've been pronouncing this name all day long because it's one of those tongue twisters. So I want you to sit back and relax because I got some serious reggae music for you tonight. And we're going to be talking about the Native American Indians with Sarah. She's an activist, so to speak, for the Native American Indians, and she's a Native American Indian herself. So I'm looking forward to that conversation because I don't know a lot about the American Indian and what this country is doing to them, what's going on reservations and whatever. I mean, I've seen stuff on Facebook about the Dakota pipeline, but we're about to get some in-depth information that you don't hear very often because you don't hear too many interviews of Native American Indians on any of our medias. So tonight I feel very privileged to have the opportunity to bring this interview to you. So without any further ado, I want you to sit back, relax, grab that last piece of jerk chicken and whatever it is you're drinking. And let's listen to some Shona. Mama, shut your mouth. Reggae music. Well, I'm
See me, I said, the ladies, living a life eccentric, authentic sky. Those ladies over there think they need some antiseptic.
You know they see the hot girl. You was a cute baby when your man say natural. No boy can say you casual. As usual, give them phone number refusal. Cause you know they see the hot girl. You was a cute baby when your man say natural. No boy can say you casual. As usual, give them phone number refusal. You no carry me a seat, that a dirty class. So if a your man she want, she no fit her. Stretch her hand when you a pass, make you chop it her. If you're in a Versace shot, start your pop it her. She in a dirty shot, tell her, take it her. So push it her. To how you take Magdalene to her. When you shop in a Jamaica, you shop a manapa. And legally, she can't shop in a Grand River. You know they see the hot girl. You was a cute baby when your man say natural. No boy can say you casual. As usual, give them phone number refusal. Cause you know they see the hot girl. You was a cute baby when your man say natural. No boy can say you casual. As usual, give them phone number refusal. CRDNG mean dirty garments. And our life rewind to the past tense. Cause it's full of torments. Jerry Springer proper in front of a life through the hard ends. But you're not a disgrace to your parents. You deal with them various monthly payments. Your life in a sequence. Your body full of iron, calcium, necessary ingredients. You know they see the hot girl. You was a cute baby when your man say natural. No boy can say you casual. As usual, give them phone number refusal. Cause you know they see the hot girl. You was a cute baby when your man say natural. No boy can say you casual. As usual, give them phone number refusal.
Boss 4-1, them boy they don't know man. Come a promise man thumping a face DJ. How I do Hulk Hogan. Me murder 4 man 4 girl. Make AK sing like vocal. Them badness like them local. Man we sing them place like Portland. When my be a man all our people are dead. What 90 are squeezing a head. Tell them about rose eyes flank off feel them. Can't tell them man believe in a lead. Rifle rise and people are dead. Mark 90 squeezing a head. Them know we be bust them head. He fuck me gun never head. Man hot up the place like pot pan stove. Funeral me a bold box and rose. Real top killer we no mac and toast. Tell some boys if it's up from post. How your skin coulda tough like Batman clothes. To be 18 clock pan nose. Lift off your head with the hands and toes. Cause me nah left nothing for the cops and crows. Squeeze out the girl tech. Boil it down in a casket well dressed. Chop off a neck left your headless. Who no badness soft like a bread wet. Anybody feel brave or make step? Out of your body me we make breath left. AR-15 it well set. I no bank teller when he take check. Spanish town roll out people are dead. Mark 90 are squeezing ahead. Tell about big tree homestead match pen. Top 10 man believe in a lead. Rifle rise and people are dead. Mark 90 squeezing ahead. Them know we be must them head. Keep up me gun knock us head. When the Glock speed boy drop this, me run over them and clap six. Boy get pop up like mob stick. Me murder your friend me no chat quick. To kill them me no practice. Rise the rifle and balance it. Blood leak out like tongue drip. Boy just get him tongue. When you hear about ravers and a ding dong, out of your head where you a ruffling from. One in your face where the hollow tip slam. Big rifle a sing class and a sing song. 50 cash shake up the place, hear a whole man shout out. If I no got a King Kong, funeral day make a mother sing song. I am a moral, them have to play this one. Maybe a man roll up, people are dead. What 90 are squeezing ahead. Tell about rose eyes flank off, see them. Can't every man believe in a lead. Rifle rise and people are dead. Mark 90 squeezing ahead. Well let them know me, we bust them head. Lift up me gun then a pen.
DJ Bro cool. So me I say Salt Spring. Me I say Cornwall Coach. You see me? Me I say Gully. You hear that? Whole of Mobile, whole of Spain Town, Homestead, my place. TJ, what you say?
Bossed.
Rivers, Killers,
G-City.
motherfucking sick niggas.
10%. Greenland.
Fort Jenners. You know what thing go? Bossed. Governor.
Rifle rise and people are dead. Mark 90 squeezing ahead. Well let them know me, we bust them head. Lift up me gun then a pen.
All right, guys, we're back. And if you're just now tuning in, you're listening to KT and the Jamaica Funk Show. We're on the air probably about 3 times a week, around 8 p.m. in the evening. And you can get us also not only here on Spreaker, but we're also on iHeartRadio at the Jamaica Funk Show. And you can also get us on our website, which is jamaicafunkshow.com, and YouTube at the Catherine Winston channel. You can hear all our radio broadcasts and our taped shows. You can get to see those also. So tonight, our guest host will be Miss Sarah LeDeau Schmasow. I told y'all I'm going to get it right. And hey, Sarah, how are you? That's good. Sarah is a Native American Indian, and she teaches kindergartners, as well as she's a bit of an activist for the Native American Indian community out in Montana. Am I correct, Sarah?
Yes, you sure are.
Great, great. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your story?
Well, I have been in the professional field of education and counseling for almost 30 years now. I have a lot of experiences and interacting with natives from different tribes and also experiencing the type of management that I have found on the reservations, working for native programs and schools. It's not always been a very pleasant experience. And I hope that folks would walk away from this, what I talk about, with the understanding that the main problem with not told about American Indians is what our present situation is, how we're treated, and how that information is very carefully kept out of the education system.
So what do you mean by that? How is it kept out, Sarah?
It's kept. There was a researcher. His name was Dr. John Erba. He was out of California, and I read about his research when I was like a sophomore in college. And he talked about this practice of guilt by omission rather than commission. And as long as you leave it out, then the people that you're leaving out of the story cannot say you actively did anything against them. So they just leave it out. And so it works beautifully in making sure that the general public, especially in the school system, are never made aware of the history of how this country was founded on genocide, dehumanization, and dominance of American Indians.
Wow. So tell us some of the things that American Indians have undergone in this country today, that things that they're going through today that the average John Q. American don't know about.
Well, for example, it's common practice on the reservations that I have been on. It's pretty common to find non-Indians running the show. And if you know anything about the boarding school,
Wait a minute. So what do you mean by non-Indians running the show? Be more specific than that.
Well, they're white folks.
Okay, so they're white folks as they're your teachers. Are they the teachers? I mean, how does the white folks show up in this scenario?
And generally, they are like the superintendent, the principals, the teachers. They all dominate the education system. And if an Indian is hired, happens to get hired, it puts us in a predicament where we have to really dummy down and we don't get to talk about what's really important to help American Indian students have the same type of opportunities as other races have in this country, although this is our home country. And what's interesting and very unique about American Indians is that we're from here, so
well, you're Native American. That's why they call you Native American Indians, because that's what you are, Native American Indians.
Yeah, so we have nowhere to go. It's like, if I wasn't from this country, I'd head out. I have somewhere else to go that somewhere in that homeland. But we don't have that option. We're indigenous to this country, meaning with the guts of this country, anybody who's not American Indian is an immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when you think about, even the latest election of our president, it amazes me how they leave American Indians out and how they're going to make this country great again, blah, blah, blah. But too, is what's kind of mind challenging is to think about how people talk about there's this wrath coming, there's this apocalypse coming, the end of the world is coming, these different religions, what they teach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there saying, hey, it already happened. They have exterminated 98% of the American Indians off the face of the earth. Now, if that isn't apocalyptic or the end of the world, I don't know what is.
Well, here's the thing. They are looking at it in terms of their own race. They're not looking at it in terms of the American Indian. They've been committing genocide on the American Indian ever since they landed on Plymouth Rock, and we know this. However, when they talk about genocide and apocalyptic, God, I'm gonna get this word out my mouth. Um, uh, um, uh, Events, they're talking about the current Americans here in this country. They're talking about their own race, and they don't seem to see any genocide occurring with them. So they can't see the apocalypse like you see it.
Exactly, and the importance of what I'm talking about, and making sure that there are active measures taken to educate the public, and more so in the school system, because as a school teacher, I give my students a different perspective than a white teacher would give those students. I talk about the things that they don't talk about. I teach them about the culture and thinking, to teach them to think like an Indian. And it's like studying history. We're taught about Lewis and Clark, and they were on this expedition, they were exploring, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's just a nice way of saying they were out to get whatever they could from American Indians. That's the truth. But they sugarcoated using these words. They were exploring. I tell my students, and I challenge them, what if we headed over to Europe, landed on their shores, and we start staking up our lodges, start planting crops, and we start, taking their livestock? What do you think's going to happen? Well, they probably run us back to where we came from and say we were stealing.
Well, if they could, if you were the same as they were, see, you couldn't run them back to their land. And the thing is that one of the things I've learned living in this life is that everything lives in language. Everything. There's nothing that lives outside of language. And what I've learned is that white people have a very crafty way of speaking their truths in such a way that they can twist their truths for you to make you think it's a certain thing when it's actually something totally different. And that's how they've stripped a lot of cultures from people. I mean, they've done it to the Native American Indians, back in the 40s, when they took all the kids off the reservations and put them in private schools that were ran by just white people and wouldn't allow them to speak their own language.
But now what's happening is they're not so much stealing the kids and taking them off the reservation. They brought all of the white people in to dominate the school systems on the reservation. That's my point, in that if we try to allow the children to pray in their own language, to use our sweetgrass or sage, in offering our prayers or burn tobacco, all of a sudden everybody's going crazy about that practice. And even Indians themselves are like, well, what if something catches on fire? And Indian house service is famous for that too. Well, we can't have you do that. Well, you let the Catholics come in and burn their infants. What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, and then it's like, you're sitting there, no, that isn't exploding with me either. It's things like that are happening in the schools on the reservations that are being dominated by white people and their culture. They are still colonizing Indian people at a very vigorous and very forceful way to make sure that the schools are not being run by Indian people.
So let's dispel some of the myths out there, Sarah. What about where they say that Indian people have their own land. They are a country within a country. Is that true?
Well, according to the treaty process, that you have to be where we didn't write those treaties because we didn't even know how to write English. So anyway, those treaties were made with us, and the agreement was the U.S. government agreed to provide health, welfare, and education for American Indian people in exchange for giving us huge, spaces of land. It was either that or we'll kill you, we'll kill the rest of the 2% we haven't killed, or you sign this treaty.
So they really didn't give you nothing. They took everything from you and then wrote up some papers that you all didn't understand and had you all sign it and agree to it, in other words.
Exactly. And see, people don't understand that. That would be like, for instance, if the U.S. has a treaty with France and they agree to certain terms on that treaty, well, the French and the U.S. would expect that treaty to be honored and everything that's in it to be honored, but so far with American Indians, the U.S. government has failed miserably to live up to any of those conditions of those treaties in exchange for our land. And so the general public does not understand that happened, that it is characterized by country to country government to government relationship that they have with American Indians.
Wow.
And so people don't understand how, like for instance, my reservation is the Rockyboy Chippewa Cree Reservation, can enter into negotiations with the U.S. government. We are our own little country within the United States, but people don't understand how that happened and exactly what that relationship is. It's a government to government, but it's government to government as long as it's going the U.S. way. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Well, I understand exactly what you're saying, but we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to play a little bit of reggae music for our listeners who are sitting here waiting on some music to come on, and we got you covered in just a few minutes. But we want you to sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy some real reggae music. Well, I remind.
Baby, timeless. Hey, we are baby. Don't play around, no. Seriously, you can't take me for clown. Never. I'm gonna rock. Yo. Hey. Take me in. You think it easy? Who you around with? You want it easy? Take me things on. You take my money too. So take into. Take into. Take in. You think it easy? Who you around with? You want it easy? You take me things on. Take my money too. So take into. Take into. 4. That I feel you want now. 3. That I feel the door and the grill and the padlock. Give me 5. For the fridge and the blender on the fridge top. Go on bad, for the Louis Vuitton bag. Take for the goods from separate. Plus the ceramic tile and the gold plate doorknob. That I got cost you up. Take in, you think it easy? Who you around with? You want it easy? Take me things on, you take my money too. So take into, take into. Take in, you think it easy? Who you around with? You want it easy? You take me things on, take my money too. So take into, take into. Me like me a tricks in a 3D. Fini CD, DVD, TV. Pay me back for all of those kiki. Give me 3 free. With you, me free. If your man big like Baby G, mine sing and DJ like Lady G. I hope pay your visa fee. Grab me, y'all sing for it like a Lisa D. Take in, you think it easy? Who you around with? You want it easy? Take me things on, you take my money too. So take into, take into. Take in, you think it easy? Who you around with? You want it easy? You take me things on, take my money too. So take into, take into. 4. That I feel you want now. 3. That That a for the door and the grill and the padlock. Give me 5 for the fridge and the blender on the fridge. Hey, go on bad for the Louis Vuitton bag. Take for the goods from Separate. Plus the ceramic tile and the gold plate doorknob. That a go cost you up. Take in, you think it easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? Take the things and you take my money too. So take into, take into, take in. You think it easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? You take my things and take my money too. So take into, take into. Me like me a tricks in a 3D, fini CD, DVD, TV. Pay me back for all of those kiki. Give me 3 free, with you, me free. If your man big like Baby G, mine sing and DJ like Lady G. I hope pay your visa fee. Grab me, y'all sing on it like a Lisa D. Take in, you think it easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? Take me things and you take my money too. So take into, take into, take in. You think it easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? You take me things and take my money too. So take into, take into, take in. You think it easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? Take me things and you take my money too. So take into, take into, take in. You think it easy? Who you ramp with? You want it easy? You take me things and take my money too. So take into, take into.
I saw fake people stay, Rome I saw fake people turn.
Nikita know it.
Crash road, easy.
You help them do everything, and now you them done run and shame. Same friend when me grow it, a bad mind me through the fame. Me swear you was a real friend, can't believe us so easy or tame. Crew me wicked them jealous, and that them same man why you a rubbish I thought in a dream. Nuff sell out for nothing at all, bad mind them corrupt them we kill you just see nothing at all. Big up the real youth them, where you bullet with we brother from we never got nothing at all. Tell them we in it to win it, get a youth sky is the limit. So me a push forward stand tall,
All when them woman fall.
Rum, as a fake people see it, as a fake people turn. Watch them and you will understand why me no put trust in a man. Rum, as a fake people see it, as a fake people turn. No for them bees that you body done, and behind your back watch them a make plan. You help them do everything, and now you them turn run and shame. Same friend when me grow it, a bad mind me through the fame. Me swear you was a real friend, can't believe us so easy or tame. Crew me wicked them jealous, and that them same man why you a rubbish I thought in a dream. Nuff sell out for nothing at all, bad mind them corrupt them we kill you just see nothing at all. Big up the real youth them, where you bullet with we brother from we never got nothing at all. Tell them we in it to win it, get a youth sky is the limit. So me a push forward stand tall,
All when them woman fall.
Rum, as a fake people see it, as a fake people turn. Watch them and you will understand why me no put trust in a man. Rum, as a fake people see it, as a fake people turn. No for them ways that you body done, and behind your back watch them a make plan.
I saw fake people stay, Rome I saw fake people turn.
Them nobody know, them just talking early. When we roll up, shoot up them party vibes. If I know the get a beat, then I the 45. Hey, me the boy, she squeeze it, she got palm boy. Shot the post, blood run like river that boy. From me little bit run, he send me apart. And everybody know, send me no give a damn boy. Me bust me gun till he hot like fire pan stove. A rock catch pan the wall like fly up and post. Them know so me sick like Iron Man coke. Me make your mother buy a reed and a one rose. Clip them long like fireman hose. Shot burn him up like iron pan close. Any bumper hold this dead. God know me take the oath. Car when he gun them a bust boy drop down a death. Baby run them down, shoot shot in your gut.
Well, guys, I'm here today with Sarah LeDeau Schmasow. And she is one of the activists on a Native American Indian reservation here, well, not here, but in Montana. USA. And we're talking about what's going on these Native American Indian reservations right now and what the U.S. government is doing to them. So we were talking before we went to the break, Sarah, about the Indian nation being a country within a country and two separate governments. So if you can tell our listeners how that works.
Well, how that works is when back in the day when they were busy looking at alternatives to completely wiping American Indians off the face of the earth, they entered into treaties with different tribes. But each tribe is a separate entity within the U.S. And so they negotiated with the U.S. government, and of course, we were like real privy to what those treaties really meant. But anyway, to make a long story short, we are actual countries, little countries within the boundaries of the U.S. government. But the truth of the matter is, even though those treaties exist and the U.S. government generated those treaties are violated daily. Those treaties promise us education, health, welfare, and housing. But see, what a lot of people don't understand is that even though those were promised to them, and you come onto a reservation and you're sitting there and you're shaking your head, I can't believe these people live like this, because the poverty is so profound. The unemployment rate sometimes can run up to 80%.
Wow.
Now, if that was in a white community, those types of living conditions, all people would lose their mind. All those poor white people, we got to fix this. But nobody's outraged. Nobody's outraged at the living conditions of American Indians on the reservation. These reservations were created, the sign, disappearing ink on these treaties was, these reservations were actually concentration camps. They did not think that we could survive the conditions of living on the land that they designated that we could live on. And so now, fast forward, a lot of this land is mineral rich. Now they don't have the land. What little land we do have left, they're on it now because it's got oil on it.
Right.
And coal, and so on and so forth. So when you think about that relationship that American Indians have with the U.S. government, but it's on the U.S. government gets to name the terms of that relationship. And it's not like, for instance, if the U.S. had a treaty with, say, Russia. Well, the U.S. isn't going to get to dictate everything to Russia like they do American Indians. They pick and choose, well, we might send you folks maybe enough to build a couple more houses so there's only 20 people living in one house. But the fact is it pushes people like me off the reservation. You're forced into an urban area. You're forced to compete with, everybody else, because these reservations were meant for a place for us to die. And so the government never dreamed we would survive as long as we have, because with not having enough housing, jobs, so on and so forth on a reservation, forces us off the reservation and to intermarry with other races, then pretty soon down the line, because in order to be an enrolled member of a tribe, you have to have a certain blood quantum, which equates to, like one Indian describes it, do you have your poodle papers? It reduces us to as if we're animals. That the Indians have been conditioned not to question that strategy and those rules to be on a certain tribe. I know Indians who are full-blood, but they're mixed with so many different tribes, they're not enough for one tribe. They can even acknowledge as an Indian. Get a load of that.
Wow. And you know something, the deep part about it is that I know when they signed those treaties, you guys didn't speak a lot of English or understand a lot of written English. And most of those treaties were verbal treaties, and you signed those papers, and you all didn't know what was in it that you were signing. So what they were doing is they were just playing a game with you and not telling you the rules, you know. And if they think you're going to come near learning the rules by educating yourself, they do a bait and switch on you. You know, they cause something to happen where you can't be educated in the manner in which you need to in order to stop them from, you know, abusing and creating genocide on your race of people.
Exactly. But it's, you know, it's really hard to understand or to even imagine that I represent the 2% that survived this Holocaust, this ongoing Holocaust of American Indians. I am a representative. Only 2% of us survived that.
Wow.
That's I can't even imagine, you know, what our people endured. But I know that their deaths made, you know, meant something. I honor that, and that's why I speak out. Is I'm not only speaking for the people here, but our ancestors who before us, you know, died brutal deaths, much like, you know, the black people. It's like I can't believe that all these things were done to us because of the color of our skin. We're human.
Yeah.
We're human.
Well, that was because you all had the gold and they had the dirt. And so, you know, they had to take the gold from you. I mean, you know, it's the same thing they're doing with the Africans now. The Africans got the diamonds and they brought religion. So they gave them the religion and took the diamonds. And that's what they do. They come over and bait and conquer. And they're still doing it to the Native American Indian here in this country. You know something, Sarah, we're running out of time. And I'm going to invite you to come back tomorrow. I will host a special show tomorrow evening and have you on as my guest again. And we can further this conversation. What do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. I want to get the word out.
I do too. I want to get the word out, and I want people to understand really what is going on with Native American Indian. And it's not, you know, what they think. So we want people to understand what's actually happening. And in order for them to understand what's happening, we got to have time enough for you to be able to have a great conversation with me to let us know exactly what's going on. So, guys, listen to the Jamaica Funk Show tomorrow for part 2 of what America is doing to the Native American Indian. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to get you some reggae music, and then I'll come back and sign off. Sarah, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show, and we will talk with you tomorrow. If you can hold on for a moment, okay? Okay.
Yo, badada. Everybody don't know World Boss Program. None of me girl say, me no fi bother with the run up and down. Me a fi tell her fi shut up and down. You a go like semi, they a prison like semi in a horizon. Maxfield, touchy road with a pack of condom, cause you know say me get gal anywhere me want. I mean no what fi say a word to a gal, and me style and me smile and me pretty skin girl. Me smell sweet but me stinking rich, so a gal me will light your life with the dark. Them go here say the Benz just park and a be a gal a circle like shark. World Boss.
Why you a mash up my brains? Do you know some love you the same? You feel like this is a game, Answer my question. What make you want have so much woman? What make you want have so much woman? Me know say me can more than hold you. Me know say me can more than love you. What make you want have so much woman? What make you want have so much woman? Me know say me can more than hold you. Me know say me can more than love you.
Me have woman like sea of sun, like earth of dirt, like Kellogg of corn. When it come to gallus business, nobody know what near me Uncle Sean Sam. Me no use money car, I have charm. Another tag one pan what I want. Me life come me like domino class. Me life come me like domino class. World boss.
Why you a mash up my brains? Do you know some love you the same? You feel like this is a game, Answer my question. What make you want have so much woman? What make you want have so much woman? Me know say me can more than hold you. Me know say me can more than love you. What make you want have so much woman? What make you want have so much woman? Me know say me can.
Me have to tell you, say me and my don't find a body day. You really look good, me say I'm have to receive your love one day. Yeah, why you? I'ma love you. No gyal at all, me no put above you. Me love it when me touch you. Me never see a gyal when me love so. Turn on so, back it up, yeah. Take time now. Body no tough, yeah. Turn back around now. Me wanna see your face. Looking at me eye, yeah. Me have to tell you, say me and my don't find a body day. You really look good, me say I'm have to receive your love one day. Me never see a girl pretty so from me born. She make me take off the boots me a born. She turn me on from dusk till dawn. Turn on so, back it up, yeah. Take time now. Body no tough, yeah. Turn back around now. Me wanna see your face. Looking at me eye, yeah. Me have to tell you, say me and my don't find a body day. You really look good, me say I'm have to receive your love one day. Yeah, why you? I'ma love you. No gyal at all, me no put above you. Me love it when me touch you. Me never see a gyal when me love so.
Guys, like I told you, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you today on the Jamaica Funk Show. I appreciate you hanging in here with me because you know without you, there is no me. So, I want you to sit back and enjoy some reggae music and be blessed. And until tomorrow evening, well, I remind.
Looking at me eye, yeah.
Money is gonna shot, truly. Portmore girl, Kingston girl, country girl. Jesus Christ, gala where you get a good body then. A the question, gala where you say. Me no afraid, me will get it anyway. Feel like a joke, stick a bet and say fake.
Boy, you ready to come love me right now? You are my baby. Are you ready to come love me right now?
You have a man.
So what? Body good, body hot, so what? I know, say me got it like that. Body clean, body not shot. Love me hard, me say it hard.
Me say me never see your body hot so. Come me like say you feed it with last cup. Jiggle your body, girl, when you box up. Put a part, one a Binge Road, one a Moscow.
Girl, me know say your face bleach out. When me done with you, you're blacker than a junko. You a screaming a pitch higher than a alto. Like a cowboy show right on the bronco.
Boy, you ready to come love me